Hello guys, this is Marcus again, bringing to you one more tutorial. For this time we are going to learn how to create drag and drops in Figma. So let's suppose that we are working in a company, in a project, in a team, and there are ways to manage the project. So let's suppose that each member of the team, she or he has responsibilities, and then those responsibilities, they can be related, attached, addressed to specific person or people, and they are going to work on that specific task. So it's necessary to demonstrate to the team, to the managers, to the stakeholders, how the tasks they are going. So for example, let's suppose that we have this column over here, backlog, where the things they aren't started yet, and then when the designer, the developer, or other people in the team decides, okay, this is time to work on this task. So it's easier to drag and drop just like this. Okay, and then let's suppose that someone told, oh, this task is not going to be done right now, so it's necessary to move back. So it's possible to click here and move back. Okay, so we have this column backlog, this column doing things, and this one when things they are done, they are finished, ship, and then people can take action from there. So we have this example over here, and there is one more example that I did. It's pretty similar but slightly different. So we are moving this card here. Let's suppose that we have this card, two people, they are working on this task. Color system, space system, and buttons. It's about UI design, and we have the date here, and then it's possible to move like this and see the difference. All the other cards, they are accommodating themselves after this action. The first one, just remember really quickly, just to recap, this one here we move just like this, and only this card is being affected. But when we go to this example over here, we move and all the other cards, they are being moved. I could, for example, move from here to that and then move back. The same logic can be applied, but I will let this part for you guys so you can go there and explore even more and do a lot of things that we don't have time to do here in this tutorial. Okay, but the base, this ground, I'm gonna show you how to do that, how to design, how to do the interactions, and how to test the prototype. Okay, so let's get started. Here we have two examples, like I told you before, they are pretty similar. The only different thing, it is the type of card. Actually, the card we decided to move here is this one, this green one, interaction design, prototype, and micro interactions. And for this example down here, we are moving this card here, UI design. So don't be afraid that I'm going to walk you through calmly in detail. So it's going to be possible to replicate exactly the same thing that I did. So I'm going to moving a little down those things over here just to concentrate in this main part over here. So let's start. Let me see the size of this frame. It's going to be whatever size. I'm going to follow the same one. 1032 by 837. Just press F, click in whatever place, and then we can copy. In my case, I can copy. In your case, you can't, because you didn't do what I did before. I changed the position. I'm sorry about that. I have to copy the width, then I can paste the width over here. So I can come back there and paste, copy the height and paste the height, exactly the same. Just positioning. Now let me name it like frame 1 or something like this. Like normally I say, you decide the best way of doing that. And now we have this column over here, right? Let's have the same size. So I will press R for rectangle, click inside of this frame. Then I'm gonna copy this same width. I recommend you to use the same so you can have exactly the same aspect that I have over here. And here, let's do the same one. Now we have these borders, like we have this radius. They are a little round. I use it 16. So here we are going to use exactly the same 16, just to be a little better, more special, fancy, beautiful, round, whatever. Then let's measure the distance. Here I use it 32. So we can go like this. Click here, then align by left. Then I select here. I measure the distance. I press and hold Alt so I can see. Then I press and hold Shift and I hit right arrow on my keyboard, just like this. You can have 40 or something like this. It's not a problem. Centralize it. Then press Ctrl D to duplicate the selection. Select both of them, Shift A to apply auto layout. I will undo a couple of times. Should have moved it first. So now we apply, right? Then click twice, select it here and press Ctrl D to duplicate. So now we can measure the distance. We have 40 here and 40 here, so they are the same size. Then I can change it a little bit here. It's not that good. I can use 40 here too. I taught you before. Then we are not having problems with this. 44, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, exactly the same. So we got frame 1. You can rename if you want, like page 1, whatever. So now we got a little of organizing. So let's think about the colors. Let's think about user experience, right? Usability. Normally things, when they are not being doing, let's call this way, they are neutral, right? And then for this reason, we can use like some grayish color, like I use it here, some grayish. Then things, people are working on those things. So it's like someone is doing something. We could use, for example, some green or yellow or orange, just to differentiate. Some blue as well, it's not a problem. And here we could use, for example, some green because it's done. So we can play this way. Some people, they may play like, oh, here it's gonna be something like red. I have to take attention. So you decide. I gave you the tools and now the way of using these tools is with you guys. It's up to you. So let's call columns, and much probably we are going to remove the frame was only to help us with aligning. So let me press Ctrl Shift G just to have the rectangles. Here I'm gonna call backlog just for a matter of organizing. This one I can call doing. This is a sort of Scrum, Kanban, something in between, right? Doing and done. So it's a way of managing the project. So we got here backlog. I'm gonna hit T for type, for text actually. And then I'm gonna type backlog. And as a title, I want to have it bold. So I press Ctrl B. And then I can increase its size like 20. I believe it's gonna be equal 1. Now I'm gonna come here and I will go to plugins, find more plugins. Let's type feather icons. I have this plugin installed, so I will just run it. So we got a lot of different kinds of plugins to use over here. They are from the same family, but we have, for example, watches and, let's suppose, suitcases and checks for them. So we can use the same logic. So let me type watch. Maybe the one I use it, so I just click here that I don't need or I can't drag and drop, so I just click and it will appear in some part of my screen. And now I can move it here, but be carefully, because if we move something like, oh, if I click inside and I move, this sort of thing is gonna happen. So we need to be careful here because it's a frame, right? So we have this clock and two vectors inside, so be sure to move the clock, right? So select it here, have a look on the layer panel, then we can move down just like this. And then here, let's apply auto layout. But once that we are inside of a frame, we can click in whatever place and move. And then to select some internal part of this icon, we click twice, then we can move around. But it's better to work inside of frames. See, it's easier. Click once and then move around. Select those two elements, press Shift A for auto layout. So we have this distance. I want to use 8. Then I'm gonna name it title. Let me open this auto layout. We have clock and we have title. Clock I can call, for example, icon, just for a matter of organization, like I told you before. Let me see the distance. I will select this background and I'll press and hold Shift. So I have both of them selected. I can centralize just horizontally, just like this. Cool. On top, let's try to use some measure more standardized, more standard. So we got this backlog, and now let me apply some color over here. So I can apply colors in frame like I showed you many tutorials ago, and the color I will pick up this background color, and let me move it here really quickly. I'm gonna make it a little darker, some darkish like this. Then I want to change the internal margins, the padding actually. So let me type 2 here, 2 here, not enough. Let me go with 8 and 8. Maybe here 16, just to have a little more space, and I want to have 16 here too. It's kind of a peel. Let me try 24. It's more round, I prefer. So let's align again, and yes, it's cool now. Then let's go to the next one. I can copy from here, Ctrl C, click here, Ctrl V. That was placed in the wrong place. I can move like this, centralize like I showed before. The background color, I will do the same logic, picking up the color from here and making it a little darker. Then I want to change, I'm gonna call it doing. Click out, click in, centralize again, really easily. There are many ways to do that, to centralize and so on and so forth. I showed that before in tutorial, so I won't concentrate on that for now because I want to show you the matter of this tutorial. Actually, show you what I prepared for this tutorial, right? So now we got this doing. We need to change the icon. I will select here, click in whatever one you want, or even click in here. Now let's type like suitcase or bag. Yes, bag is okay. Just drag and drop, just like this, same size. We don't change anything. Centralize again, click in and select in both of them. It's okay because the icon, it had the same size, so we didn't need to change anything. Now the last one, we are going to copy from here, select here, and we can press, for example, Control Shift, whoops, Control Shift V. It's gonna be placed here. Then maybe it's better to align. Move down 40. Let's change the color exactly the way that we did before. Open here, pick up the color, make it a little darker. It's okay, enough contrast. So we got the base that we need. Now we just need to change doing to done, and also the icon, something like check. Just click, it will be placed in the middle of the screen no matter what we select. We just drag and drop like this, we delete like this, select like this, shift, click on the background and align again. Now we can close these feather icons. And now it's time to do the cards, right? We can do cards in many ways. There are many ways, but I'm gonna teach you not the component, properly speaking, but this look and feel. And then in the future, I'm gonna create, actually I did a tutorial talking about cards. I have it here in some place, here, cards, see. We talked about that, the anatomy and all the things that we can do, see, all the details, atoms, molecules. I'm talking about that again because maybe you are new to my channel, so you can see that I did a lot of tutorials on material design. So molecules, organisms, templates, and pages. So there are many ways of doing cards, and I showed you before, guys, in variations like full, no label, no title, no label, no title, no text. Many ways of doing that. So you can watch this tutorial if you want. Okay. We are here animating drag and drops. So let's keep going. Now it's time to do the cards like I told you before. Let me see the size I used. 248. So R for rectangle. 248. Height 166. Border radius, let me see, H. Color white. Stroke, some grayish. Cool, we have this base, and now I want to apply some shadow. Let me go with 16 and 16 here, and in Y I'm gonna go with 2, perhaps a little less, 1. And here 8. Let's see. Yes, it's cool. Now it's time to have things inside of this frame, right? Like I told you before, there are many ways of doing that. I'm not concerned for now in this tutorial of doing the component in the best way, but just the look and feel. So let's hit T and type UX design, Control B because I don't want to have a bold color. I will press Shift A to have a auto layout. Then the fill, I will use some blue. As you can see, it's gonna be 4 to have these round corners, and then the color of the text, it's gonna be white, and the height, the padding, top and bottom, I don't want to have 8. I want to have something like 4 or even less, something like 2. Yes, to have more space. And as you can see, like I showed you, we see this frame 8 because it's not a frame. If that was a frame, inside of the frame, each element that I place, I won't see these little titles over here, but no matter. 16 and 16 here too. First part is okay. Now let's duplicate. Now I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift G to remove the frame. The color it's gonna be black, bold or semi-bold, medium, something like this. So let's go with medium. And then let's have this 16 here too. Let's type exactly the same information. Wireframe task flows sitemaps medium. Yeah. Even if you want semi-bold, and we can go like some dark gray. Now we can select both of them and press Shift A to have a auto layout. Here I can call title. Here I can call tag. Here I can call elements. I select this one here, I press Ctrl D to duplicate, and I see the space between the elements. It's gonna be 14, it's not good. 16 to have 8 pixels grid. Now I remove this bold, Ctrl B to come back being regular. Now I type this task was estimated and voted by all team members, but it's not working right. Okay, what we need to do here is rather than having hug in this constraint, we should change to fill container. So the container is named elements, and inside of this container I will have all my elements. So it's a good practice to have 16 here too. So the container is fixed, but the elements inside of the container, like this one here. See, if I go here and I keep typing, I will have the same problem. So I need to change hug to fill container, and now it's okay. Let me remove this rubbish. Okay, I wanna change this color for some light gray, just like this. Maybe 16 is too much. Let's try 8. Maybe not enough. Some people, they use 12. I don't know if I really like it, but let's keep 12, then we can change again. Okay, then we have another tag. We can duplicate this one here, move down, and then let's type May 10. It's overdue, but you can change it. I'm gonna use the same gray here. In my case, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Maybe a little lighter. Yes, I don't want to have this amount of contrast. And I can copy this icon from here. Ctrl C, click here, Ctrl V. It's too bigger, right? So we can diminish. And also hit left arrow. Then we can diminish, not 8, but something like 2. And maybe 4 here. We have the control of doing whatever we want. Maybe 4 here too. It's too bold, I don't like. It's a stroke. Let me go inside. As you can see here, 2 vectors. I select both of them. And then I see 2 in this stroke. I can change to 1. Or even something like 1.5. Some people, they use like this. I don't know if I like, but that works. And then select this icon and then reduce a little more. I'm gonna go with 13 by 12. I'm gonna type here 12 by 12. And then lock this chain to constrain a little better. Then when I select this chip, this tag, I will change the aligning by something in the middle here. The color is gonna be white. So we are done with this part. Then let's have some photos, right? Let me see the size I used here. 32 by 32. Okay, I press O and I click in whatever place in the screen. I lock it here, type 32. If I want, I change this color just to see what I'm doing. Okay, I zoom in a little and I can move and place in some place here. But see, now we got a problem. We can increase its size a little, but we got a problem because we are using auto layout. It's not exactly a big problem because I will show you how to solve it. But before, let's place some photos here. We are gonna run a plugin. We used it in the last tutorial. Like if you didn't watch the last one, swipe to delete. That was pretty cool. If you didn't see that, I recommend you to go there and to see. So use it. We use it to have those avatars. Let's run plugins. Find more, Unsplash. You can type here. If you haven't installed that yet, Unsplash, you can run. It takes some time to run. I will have some sip here in my water. Taking too long, maybe something went wrong. Unsplash. It was not supposed to happen. Well, as I taught you before, and I'm quite sure that you will not have any problem to use it once that it is really easy to use. So, oh, I see that I am offline. Something is going wrong with my connection. This is a problem. But not exactly a big problem because I won't stop the tutorial for this reason. So, yes. Oh, now I have connection again. Cool. Now we can go to select this oval. We can call it avatar. And then with this shape selected, we need to go to portrait. And then we see some portraits. We can scroll down and pick up one that we like. Let's suppose that this person is working in our company. So I have one here. I can duplicate this avatar just like this and pick up another person. Yes, and then this thing is gonna be random. I'm gonna make some more. Like I want you in my team. I want you in my team. Let's have some more. I just need to select and then click on the photo and then it will be changing automatically. I want you in my team and I want you to in my team. Really, come to my team. I want you. Don't you want? I think he doesn't want. Yes, but she does. She wants. Then I want to have a lot of people. Let me have more. This guy here. Maybe a designer. Let me see more. This one. Some product owner maybe, or I don't know. Just thinking freely here. Just letting my thoughts fly. Okay, now we have those people, and let's figure out how we can manage this. So I like to apply colors when I am building up auto layouts and things like this, so I can see behind what I have. So we got a problem here. Not exactly a problem, but what we can do it is to move this avatar here, for example. Then I can select these two elements, press Ctrl A for auto layout, and I name it like we got tag. Inside of this tag we got icon and text, and then we got this avatar. what we can do, we have basically two elements, right? We can call, for example, footer. There are some people they call this way, and then we change the orientation. Then we can align by the bottom or in the middle, just like this. Then we can go fill container and open it here and change packet to space between. And then we can have, no, that's okay. We don't need to change it here, because I was thinking like, oh, it's like too closer to the border, but the border is here, not here. So when we go and we hide this color, everything is cool. And also, it's a problem when we have more than one person inside of the card. See, in this case, what is possible to do is select those two avatars, Shift A for auto layout. You can call avatars because we have two avatars here. We can apply some color just to see what we are doing. And then we can diminish we click twice to get into the avatar section, and we can diminish it here. See, we have this possibility even to have something like this, right? Because some people, they work this way, like some softwares, they go in this sense, and that's cool. I think so. And even if we duplicate some avatar, oops, I'm sorry, see what happens. For example, I can bring one more here and it will be just like this. I can delete this one, for example. See, it's cool to apply some background so we can see what's happening, to have this view. That would be great. I don't know, let me try to have some stroke, some gray like this. Let me click out, click in, hide this color, and see. We can have things like this. Or if you want to, you can go like 0 or even 2. You decide the better way you want to work with these things. And even about the the stroke, you decide if you want to use or not. Because here we got a problem. Let's suppose that in these tasks, UX design, there are many designers working. So what we will do if many of them are working, and I can have this vision. So this is a good solution, thinking about experience, right? Because we could, for example, replicate many times. And then we could have something here like plus, actually, 90 plus, 10 plus, 100 plus. So it doesn't accommodate, doesn't fit everyone, but we can tell that there are more people involved. And then clicking in this plus, the user goes to another section. You can see all the people in a list, for example. It's a possibility. So you decide what you want to do. Cool. So the card is done, and even let me move the other fellas a little down. The card is done, but we can do even more for our proposal. What we are going to do, we are going to have a frame with the same properties of this background element. So let's press F. Let's have the same size. We have many ways of doing that. 166. And now, whoops, 166, just this. Let me move the team a little down, the rest of the team. Let me call it card. I think it's gonna be a good name. Yes. And now I will click here in this white shape. Right click, copy, paste as, and then go and copy properties. Click here and paste properties. See what happens, exactly the same one. And the thing here is that we can move these elements inside and see what happens. They are part of this card, and we are using auto layout. And then if we move things around, we have more flexibility and freedom. For example, let's suppose that we are working with responsive design, right? It's fixed. Let me change it to hug content. Oops, not like this. Yes, just for a matter of test. I'm going to duplicate it just to show you. Let's suppose that the elements inside of these cards let me see if what I'm telling is the right thing for this moment. For example, the flexibility I told you, but I think that if that was just a auto layout, that was going to work well. Let me delete it. Let me duplicate only this internal part. And then we could place, let me apply some color like red, and we can have the same distance. It was even wrong here. That should be something like this, but it's still wrong. 16 and 16. And here we can type like 16 by 16, and oops, maybe we should have something a little bigger. We can move like this. See what I was talking about, responsive design. See, like mobile, tablet, desktop. Cool. We will have time. We have a lot of cool things I want to show you guys. So it's gonna be white in this case, and we copied the properties. We can paste it here. Paste properties, exactly the same. Without frame, without shape, only with the auto layout and its properties. Now it's possible, for example, to align by the center. Let's see what happens. See? We have this freedom, this flexibility. We can do a lot of things, but for now I think it's fair enough. So we have this base, this card that even could be a component, but we don't need to have this now. So I'm going to place it here. 24 by 24. Let me see on top what I use it. 44, it's not right. That should be 48, just like this. It's right. Let me move, oops. Let me move those fellas down. Now we can duplicate like this. 24. Control D to have one more time. Then we can duplicate like this, and then Control D to duplicate again, right? So we have all that we need. I want to delete this one here, just to, you know, we could even like play this way. It's possible too. Okay. And now I would like to fill all this information, but I quite believe that it's going to take too much time, and then I'm gonna pause the video, and then when I will be back, you will see all the information filled. Just wait for me, it will be really quickly. Okay guys, like I told you before, a couple of seconds ago for you, but for me that was a little more. I did what I needed to go on with this tutorial. So now we have all the information filled, and now it's gonna be easier to proceed. So let's go on. So the first thing we have to do right now is to duplicate this frame we are working on, page 1. Let's duplicate and have this page 2. In this page 2, we are going to decide what interaction we are going to have. So I want to move this card, right? So what I need to do is, let me zoom in a little bit. I will change this orientation a little bit. That was horizontal, and then I change it to vertical a little bit, this angle, and then I want to increase this drop shadow a little bit, something like 24, and here something like 32. So people can see really that something is going on here, right? Even here, I can go this way. Cool. So the first thing. Then we need to move again. And now this card, it has to go to the right column. So I need to move like this. Then I will click here and type 0. So it's gonna go to the normal orientation. Now I measure it, see the position is not right here. I have to eliminate, to remove these broken numbers, and now it's easier to identify. 24 by 24, 24, 24. So we move it, right? And now it's time to prototype. So let's select the card over here, go to prototype tab, click here and connect to the page 2. On click, we will change to while pressing. Smart animate. It's important to be smart animate. So let's name it here Kanban, for example. 1.1 Kanban. Yeah. Let's run Kanban. Let's test this first part. So we click here, see what happens. The interaction we did. When we click here, the prototyping is triggering to the page 2. And then when I remove the click, because it's while pressing, so when I leave my click, it's come back in to the page 1. So page 1, page 2, page 1, page 2. The first part is done. Okay, so now it's time to do the next connection. We trigger this card here from page 2 to page 3. And it's not while pressing anymore, it's gonna be on drag, smart animate 2. And now let's come back and test for complete. So we can move and leave it here. See? We have a little of Figma has this bug. Sometimes I have to click again and then that broken shadow, that noisy shadow disappears. But as you can see here, it's too much shadow. We need to change it to. So let's come back here. The easiest way of doing this, I can click here in this background. I press and hold Control. Cool. I go right click, copy and paste, copy properties, press and hold Control, click here, right click, copy and paste, paste properties. So we come back with this light shadow. Okay, let's test again. We can press R to restart the flow. See, Kanban. We can click here to hide and to show this bar, this flow bar. Then we can move, see? Working perfectly. Imagine the possibilities, right? Because drag and drop is really useful, because currently many modern web browser applications or even mobile applications, they use this feature, right? So it's possible to use as well. If you are working in a project and then we need to demonstrate those things, you can go this way, and for sure people on team will understand. Or even if you need to run a usability test with real users, you can do this sort of interactions and test, validate if the idea is going well or not. But now I would like to come back, to have some interaction, to come back to the same place. I could go ahead or come back. I decided to come back because I let that for you guys. If you want to go ahead and come back to the middle, like backlog, doing, done, it's up to you. It's totally free, and I even recommend you to do things like this, to go beyond what I planned here. Okay, and to do that, we need to make a trigger from here to come back here, right? Same logic, on drag, smart animate. Let's test. See, we can come back, but see what happens. We can move here, we can move back, but it's not good. We can't let this card like this, and that happens for one reason. The prototype is stopping here on this page, right? Then we need to have a way to step back to this page. So what we can do, it is clicking here. We will not trigger the card itself. We are going to trigger the page. So we will connect page 2 to page 1. It's not going to be on click, it's going to be after delay. Immediately, like 1 second, 1 millisecond, it's like instantly. And now we can test. See, we can click. Oh, I don't want to move this card anymore, like this. If I want to move, I go like this. If I want to come back, I go like this. Just perfect. So now I have the interaction that I wanted, the interaction that I needed. And you can use your imagination to go, like I said before, a couple of seconds ago, to go even further beyond. There is no limits, okay? And I want to show you one more way of doing interactions. If you can remember, I showed you this way too. Moving this card where all the other cards, they are moved to accommodate this one that was moved. So let's do that. We don't need to create anything more. We just need to duplicate what we have and change some things here and there. So let's come back to design tab and let's delete those two pages here. Oops, actually we need to duplicate. Oops, I don't want to delete, I want to duplicate. So let's copy from here and place it here. Cool. So now we have this reference to copy from. Now and only now it's time to delete those two screens, because I want to copy from here. It's important to copy from the right one. And so in this copy, I want to move this card named UI design, not this one named interaction design. So what I need to do is move this one here. In this first part, it's okay, right? In the second part, we are going to do exactly the same, like doing this. And then we can copy this shadow to be exactly the same and to be consistent. Oops, not paste, but actually, yes, copy. Copy properties, and then we paste properties here. It's gonna be, like I told you before, consistent. But I'm not seeing the shadow the way I planned it. I don't know what's happening. Let's come back here. Copy properties, paste properties. Oh, I'm selecting elements. Is that right? Yes, that is. Paste properties. I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm doing, really. Oh, background here. I see. Copy. Paste. No, really. Okay. I can go like this, and I'm not seeing the shadow. What's the matter? Let me increase it. Yes, now I see. Yeah, something like this. Like, let's go with 24. Then you know how to see the properties. Like, we can come here and open it here and see, oh, 12, 10, 4. But there is something more. Card. Yeah. Oh, I see now. Yeah, I have to copy from the card, because there are two shadows. I was wrong, so I copy from the card and not from the background, because this card I did first for the example. I didn't use auto layout, and here I am using auto layout, so I can paste it here. Now it's going to be exactly the same, or not. Okay, yeah. 36, 25, 4. 36, 25, 4. Is that accurate? I think so. Okay, and now we need to duplicate one more time like we did before. And now we will accommodate like this, move like this, come back to 0 in the angle like this. Here it's a little broken number. I don't like this at all. 24, 24, 24. Oops. What is that? 24, 23. That should be 24. Interesting. Let me see. 24, 24, 23. Ah, I see now. Okay, and now we need to move it a little up like this. 24, 24. The shadow, see, let's copy this shadow here. Copy properties. Okay, paste here, paste properties. Now the logic working because the elements, the components, they are not components yet, but they work like components. They group, they auto layout. It's the same, so it's easier to copy and paste properties. So we move it, right? Now it's time to test. Let's see what we did is working. Let's go to prototype tab. Let's select this card and connect to this page. It's gonna be while pressing like we did before. And then from here to the next one, it's gonna be on drag. On drag, and then I want to come back if I want on drag. And here, exactly the same. I will trigger the page. It's gonna be after delay, right? Like we did before. 1 millisecond, and then I want to have some name to start this trigger. I use it here, Kanban. I will use Kanban 2, like 1 Kanban, 2 Kanban. Kanban. Starting point, 1 Kanban, 2 Kanban. The Japanese technique, I think that it was created at Toyota, if I'm not wrong. Okay, let's play this Kanban, but number 2, because it's not a good idea to have the same name. Okay, let's see what happens now. Whoops. Move it. And if I decide to come back, nah, because it's the trigger here is on click, I believe so. Let's see. On click. I'm confident. Yes, on click. That should be on drag. See? Now I can come back. I can go. I can come back. And I can go like, I don't know if I want to move it for real. Yes. So we have this possibility. Let's just recap really quickly. We can move this card like this interaction. Cool. And we also can move like this, letting the system, let's call this way, the system accommodate all the other cards. And then with this final part, we finished this tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that, because I enjoyed doing that a lot. I will repeat that a lot. I will tell one more time, a lot. That was really a pleasure. So thank you again. Stay safe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.